Well, hello and welcome back. We are setting up the computers, preparing for that match right now. But of course, we need a little bit of time to do that. So ladies and gentlemen, again, get up those smartphones. For those of you at home, please use your phone, smart or dumb. Your computer or your iPad, any of that good stuff will work. Hashtag SC2WCS. Make fun of Grubby and Apollo. Say charming things about me. Can be in Swedish or any other language that you do speak. And yeah, join the conversation. Appreciate it. You know what? It's been a long day. We're narrowing down. We're in the Consolidation finals now, and of course, we will determine who's going to play in that grand final against EG's Thorazane. It is a Terran in Thorazane, a Protoss in Seiplo, and a Zerg in SortOf remaining. So that's pretty cool. But we're going to do some pregame analysis, and I'm going to shoot over to our lovely casters, Apollo and Grubby.
Why, thank you, In Control, and very shortly we will be getting underway with this series. Seiplo may be a little bit weaker than Naniwa and Sase, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a walkover. That's one thing for sure.
He's had a lot of chance to be looking at how SortOf is playing, trying to see if he can poke some holes into SortOf's defenses. It's definitely no easy task, but of course, if Seiplo does something crazy, like he did against Thorazane in Game 2, that might give him a one-map lead, and then he only needs SortOf to mess up once to close out the series. But of course, we cannot really deny that the favorite going into this is SortOf.
Yeah, I mean, no way can we say anything other than that. SortOf has beaten Protoss player after Protoss player after Protoss player. He got a hat trick in terms of the Protoss players he beat in a row. Started off with Dignitas Pishu going 2-1. He then went against Sase 2-0, Naniwa 2-0. Those results alone, being able to go 6-1 against those three players is spectacular in itself. Seiplo, on the other hand, has actually got, or has been, a little bit more in form.
He's beaten his own fair share of Zergs, actually.
Exactly. He's actually on form against Zerg at this current point. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure on how or what he's going to bring to the table here, but he's doing something right.
Yeah, don't let SortOf's track record frighten you, Seiplo. Although, if you are afraid, I think I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I was looking at Seiplo's results, and Seiplo's results against Zerg recently has been actually a little bit crazy. He's beaten Revival, he's beaten Snoot, he's beaten Slivko, he's beaten Heypro. All these guys are very good Zerg players, so he's actually doing really well in that matchup. Whether he's just, I mean, sometimes players just kind of click and be like, wow, okay, this is really easy, and then all of a sudden things will change eventually. But in that mode of where he is playing well, he could give a fight to SortOf here, who seems to be looking for Thorazane, looking to get to the grand finals, to try to bring the crown away from a potential champion up there.
Yeah, and you mentioned that click, that kind of that revelation where suddenly everything makes sense. I'm sure everyone has felt it at some point. You wake up and you're like, oh, that's how I should play. You start playing and suddenly you feel like you understand a lot more. It's going a lot better. And it looks like that's what has happened with Seiplo in his PvZ matchup. Just 3 months ago, if you wanted to hear him talk about Zerg, there would be a lot of censorship involved.
Really? Was it that bad?
Yeah. Yeah, he was losing a lot to them, but I'm glad for him to see that he kind of sorted that out. Can he sort SortOf out? We're going to have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. You're a funny little guy there, you funny little guy. And I'm very interested to see which way the map pool is going to work out as well. I think it will be very similar. It seems that there aren't that many mind games going on with the way the veto system's working. People are eliminating the maps they want to eliminate. And of course, playing on the ones we've seen. And the 3 highlight maps of this tournament so far absolutely has to be Ohana, Daybreak, and of course, I'm missing one.
And Tomb Valley.
And Tomb Valley.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of games across those 3 maps. So I would not be surprised if those were the 3 maps that we were once again going to see, especially in this Protoss versus Zerg incoming in just a few moments' time. And of course, we are live from Stockholm. The Consolidation Finals is happening in just a few moments' time.
Makes you wonder if Naniwa perhaps should have gone with Entomb Valley. But of course, hindsight is 2020. It's easy to say that after you lose 0-2. Read out some more tweets from the community, perhaps.
Let's hit some tweets, man. So, of course, make sure to go to Twitter, because Grubby right now is going to read out your tweets. It is, of course, hashtag SC2WCS. Hit me with some, Grubby.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on, man.
Roni, Jacola, he's wondering, I cannot say what's wrong with Nani. Obviously, SortOf played really well, but Nani was sloppy, just sloppy.
I agree. I think that there was a lot of
pylon.
mistakes. The second pylon, the mishaps with the force fields and his control seemed a little bit off. I agree with you that you tweeted that.
Yeah, well, just the one tweet for now. You want to have a look at the bracket, perhaps, see how these players got here, where they are?
And of course, Seiplo. Let's have a look at Seiplo's road for sure. So we can open up the bracket, because Seiplo's a guy we haven't really looked intensively of how the hell did he do in the upper bracket. And look, he's actually bang in the... Wait a minute.
Smack in the bottom right.
Okay, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, bang in the middle. And let's have a look at his run from the right-hand side there. Started off against Lelouch. Of course, Lelouch did play Zerg. It's a little bit of a mistake there. 2-0. Seiplo playing Zerg as well. Interesting the way that this happened out there.
Interesting.
Seiplo then went on to beat Forsen 2, 2-1. So 2 Zerg players initially. He then went on to beat Sase 2-0. And then fell short of the mark as we casted not so long ago against Thorzane.
Just 1-2 against Thorzane. And that's the end of him for now.
And of course, he drops down where he's about to play against SortOf. So that's a pretty impressive run, especially the PvP against Sase and Lelouch and Forsen and no walkovers only. That shows us his expertise in the matchup versus Zerg. He's capable of beating Zerg players, and then he's got an excellent PvP. The one matchup, though, if he was to go the distance, we have not seen him perform against Terran today.
SortOf. That's true.
Both of them, Seiplo
we've
and
seen
SortOf.
Seiplo, Thorzane, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course, sorry, SortOf.
What we haven't seen today yet is DVZ. So if SortOf wins, we're going to see the first match without a Protoss in. And I'm just going to be quiet the whole game.
We have had a lot of Protoss here today. The Protoss presence is strong in Stockholm.
In Scandinavia.
In Scandinavia. In Scandinavia. So we are getting in closer and closer. Any more tweets coming over to you? I'm sure there's a bucket full.
Johan Peter Dam wonders, he's philosophizing, how come there seem to be so few Terran players? And are there no female players either? Well, I have seen some female players as part of the audience, but as of yet, none in contention there for that top 3 position. I do hope that that will happen, of course. It will be very cool. And
Terran players, I'm thinking about the Terran players on the bracket. How many Terran players were there? Thorzane and Nama.
Thorzane qualified.
I mean, I guess that's a different country, but for Sweden, there's not that many top Terran players. It's kind of all the weight is carried by Thorzane. He carries it for everybody else.
Of course, we have Sho, who has shown some excellent results.
Sorry, I forgot that.
I don't think he has been as active in Starcraft 2, at least. There are some other Blizzard games that he has been playing recently.
Not going to name that one. It may end with a 3, but you can figure out the rest for yourself.
Well, Amund Östvöl wonders what Protoss could possibly beat SortOf the way that he plays now. That's a very good question, and we're going to have to see whether that question will be answered to satisfaction by Seiplo.
All right, so let's head it down to EG in control. Take it away, my friends.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's okay to applaud me every once in a while. Thank you. The day is drawing on, but we are almost there. We have 3 players remaining, and these are your 3 Swedish representatives for that European Championship. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an accomplishment in and of itself. But there will be one person crowned the King of the North once more, and in order to get there, thank you, I appreciate that. That was a little bit of laughter right here for those of you at home. Actually, there's a lot of laughter, just imagine that on your stream. So let's go ahead and introduce the players. It is Seiplo and SortOf. No interview?
They want me to go up right now.
Huh?
They want me to go up.
Do I interview him with you here? And I'm going to introduce this lovely gentleman here with the amazing haircut who's been struggling to flip coins. It is Hellspawn. He's going to flip some coins for you guys. Good luck. It was a great interview. Good match.
Control in control,
In
in
control,
control,
in
in
control,
control,
in control,
in control,
in
in control,
Oh, in control.
oh, in control,
No,
oh,
in
in
control.
control, oh, in control.
You troll.
You are a funny man.
Yeah.
And let's get underway, of course, with Hellspawn leading the vetoes. Let's find out who's going to eliminate one of the first maps here.
Seiplo removes Antigua Shipyard.
Whoa.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
No, you're right.
What's SortOf going to do? Surprise me, SortOf.
SortOf removes Tal'Darim Altar.
Ooh.
Not surprised.
No.
It's pretty normal. What's next? Ooh.
Seiplo removes Shakura's Plateau.
All right. I like ice cream.
I'm having fun.
SortOf removes Cloud Kingdom.
Oh, Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that
Good
one.
choices, ladies and gentlemen.
What are we left? Are there 3 maps left? Oh, did we not say that?
We did.
We are good at predicting. What is our first map, Hellspawn?
Seiplo choose first map. Entomb Valley.
All right.
I'm going to have a guess. Is it going to be Daybreak?
It might be Daybreak. Yeah, you're right. Second map.
Whoa.
SortOf choose Daybreak. Therefore, Ohana is the third and decider.
Nostra Apollomus.
Indeed. So good luck, have fun by both of these guys. Who is going to the grand finals to face off against Thorzane? Is it going to be SortOf, who is on fire? Is it going to be Seiplo, the guy with the guns, the guy with the biceps? Let's find out as they enter their booths and get ready for this once again best of 3 here, the Sweden Consolidation final live from Stockholm. I welcome all of you around the world tuning in. Of course, this is the Blizzard Nordic Nationals, the World Championship Series. I am, of course, Dignitas Apollo, joined by the handsome, the intelligent, the wonderful, masterful Mr. Grubby.
Thank you. Too much honor. Well, this is going to be an amazing game. Who will challenge Thorzane there? Will we see a non-Protoss matchup today?
I don't
Or
know.
will it be SortOf?
Protoss have been, coming out swinging in every single game here today. But the one guy that's been annoying every Protoss player's day is that guy down there in the other booth, SortOf, who's absolutely been destroying Protoss players left and right, and he has another one lined up. Look at that, Eye of the Tiger, or should I say Eye of the Wolf, as he's now set up to play. It even looks like a vampire from Twilight with that hairstyle, but we'll find out if he's going to be able to go the distance. Everyone's like, God, Apollo, you're right.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. Well, he's the bane of Ayur's existence. And Seiplo.
Struggling to get his headset on.
It goes on your ear, not on your eye. But, oh yeah, okay, there. Great.
All right, so Alien Invasion going up against Western Wolves. 2 teams, not highlight teams, but 2 teams that have gained the exposure through these players. These players have worked their socks off, Grubby, to be here in the Consolidation final. 1 player will advance, but either way, we have now decided the 3 players that will represent Sweden at the European finals, the European Championship. Of course, Thorzane frontiering the tier, then Seiplo, and followed by SortOf.
First map is about to be underway. It's going to be on WCS Entombed Valley. SortOf versus Seiplo. It's going to be an amazing game.
Absolutely. Are we going to see Seiplo put up a fight against what it seems an unbreakable player? Let's find out, Grubbies. And we now loaded into the map. Let's get this game underway.
Here in the bottom right corner, we've got the blue Protoss from Team Alien Invasion. Is he going to invade SortOf? His name is Seiplo.
And one player that is causing a bit of a stir within the communities, within the racial balance discussions. It is none other than Western Wolves SortOf. And it's always great, Grubby, to see an online champion such as SortOf, who won back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back Playham tournaments, to finally be in the international main stage spotlight, and more importantly, to see him performing the same as he does online.
Yeah, he made that transition seamlessly, didn't he?
Yes, almost seamlessly. Qualifier hero there. Term up, he managed to beat top 3 from MLG. If you remember, I am first. SortOf beat him in the initial round, knocking that guy down to the loser bracket, making his life a bit more difficult. Unfortunately, SortOf then said that he went through a multitude of different mistakes that kept him away from a high-performance finish at that last MLG last weekend.
And first won his next 6 best of 3s or so to end top 6. But again, SortOf was one of the 2 people who defeated him there. 2-0 against the Korean Protoss, no mean feat. We all know how Stefano can get in trouble against Korean Protosses, more so than against most foreigners in any event. And we see Annexet's first here from Seiplo, and he's going to follow it up with a Forge and a Pylon. Positions are both on the east side of the map, so it's close-ish, but not super close.
In these positions, I don't think the positions take too much of an effect here. Being from north to south, do you think that any strategies could be deployed through the locations that both of these guys
Let's
have
say like special technical strategies?
Yeah, maybe. You think? Maybe
it could happen, but like, let's say if there was more area under, if there was less, if the cliff was closer under the natural of that hatchery, if the cliff was closer, you could have something like get on that cliff with Warp In, Observer, or Warp Prism, or Blink, but because it's quite far away, we don't usually see that. The map is usually just treated as a map with its own terrain, but without any kind of special abuses by either player.
And SortOf, using his indestructible style so far, has not changed. And to be honest, watching SortOf is reminding me a lot of when we saw Stefano rampage through Protoss player, through Protoss player, through Protoss player, as SortOf is just seeming undefeatable. And I had the discussions with many Protoss players through Stefano's reign. How do you beat Stefano? And nobody could come up with an answer that would work time after time after time. So SortOf is just showing such crazy good form here. And not just at this tournament, he's been riding this momentum for such a while now.
Definitely, definitely true. Now, Seiplo is going to open with a Zealot and 1 attack upgrade. He might be looking to do something like a 4-gate attack, perhaps trying to go and mess with SortOf's rhythm early on, see if maybe he can get an advantage like that.
And we do have the probe making its way out. This probe is basically for confirmation on how Seiplo is going to play this game out. He's already spotted the 3rd base, going in once again. There's actually been a crazy amount of mind games played and deployed by Zerg players, whether they leave that as a fake, whether they cancel it, and whether they throw down early gases and go for some form of early aggression with roaches. Because when the Protoss opponent sees that there's 3 hatcheries down like that, you don't really see sentries, or at least more than 1 sentry been put down. As we see, we have a Stalker coming out and a 3rd Nexus.
Yeah, this is a very standard strategy now on... actually, Seiplo misplaced his pylon. He's not going to be able to make a 3 gateway wall off there. But anyway, this is a very standard strategy. Seiplo is following it exactly as how I know the build as well, except for the fact that he got supply blocked. But getting that attack upgrade, getting Zealot Stalker out, and either applying some pressure or just clearing the tower by itself, it's very common on Entomb Valley. Doing that wall off now at that 3rd base will make it very easy to defend such an early Nexus, which would be unthinkable on any other map.
Exactly, and there's a cancellation on the Spine Crawl, realizing this is not going to be, as you said, a 4-gate attack. And as we now see, SortOf has spotted the 3rd Nexus. What does SortOf do to counteract this? Usually, it would be a roachling attack, multitude of different waves of aggression, increasing the level of difficulty every single time. But on a map like this...
Yeah. Not on a map like this. He's going to make a few roaches, maybe just to deal with those Zealot and double Stalkers. But I feel like SortOf is going to go for 90 or 100 drones, 4th base, very quick infestation pit, and getting his upgrades. I think he's going to skip the whole aggression part.
Yep, and there we do see double evolution chamber down, which is the broken setup with a pattern that SortOf would usually use if he was going to go roach ling attack. So we will see the melee upgrade come initially out here to really focus on the ling infestor brutal composition already, and very shortly we will want to see the 4th base come down from SortOf to really power through into the later stages of his game, of his economy. Very shortly here we do have +1 armor coming down. A Twilight Council. If Seiplo, is set up so nicely on these 3 bases, uncontested, where does his gameplay go from now?
Well, he can either try to take a 4th at around the 12-minute mark with a significant army, or maybe the 13-minute mark, or he can try to go for a timing which would hit in between about 13 or 15 minutes. We're going to maybe see a War Prism for reinforcement. We're going to see a lot of Blink Stalkers, maybe some Immortals. This is something that I would potentially expect from Seiplo.
SortOf making use of all his units, just killing down the rocks that there's no reason not to, just to open up pathways. And Observer will start to make its way. A double Observer spotted the double evolution chamber, and now Seiplo's starting to realize what's going on. He sees double evolution chamber in the infestation pit. He knows that he's playing against an opponent who will now sit back and take a 4th base. The question is, will he try to launch an attack? 1-1 has completed for Seiplo. +2 attack is on the way. If any attack wants to come, it cannot be with +3. It will be too late, Ravi.
Yeah.
Will it be with 2-1? And if it is it strong enough with 2-1?
Positioning and battle micro are going to mean everything. At this point, you should expect about 8 infestors to be out. Not much spine crawlers yet, so if you can deny those 8 infestors the perfect fungal growth, you can have a pretty decent chance at doing that kind of attack. Now, Seiplo, I saw he only had like 7 gates for a while, so that means that he can't hit that early of a timing. And indeed, he's going to make a robotics bay now. So he's going to be adding Colossi, and he's just getting everything. He's getting a whole ton of gates, really engaging in the power players, stopped at around 71 probes, and it's going to make a lot of Blink Stalkers, maybe faking a move out here. It's a little bit risky, but it looks like he was trying to fake a move out.
The Warp Prism was picked off as well outside the natural SortOf, just by simple infestor usage, which is pretty normal. A little bit of a mistake by Seiplo, but he's chrono boosting into +2. Colossus on the way. That's the first Colossus. There's no Thermal Lance either. So any form of timing window is starting to narrow down, as the Hive should begin any second now, especially with the Spire underway. He doesn't quite have enough gas at the moment by the looks of it, building 2-2 upgrades or researching 2-2 upgrades. So he'll have to wait for a few seconds here before he can go for his Hive. And with the Hive on the way, that is the timing. That is the option. But with the second robotics facility coming down?
Yeah, I think Seiplo is going to go for a 15-minute timing, 15 and a half maybe. Going to go for like almost 180 supply or so. He is going to get that 4th, and that's going to be a bit difficult to defend. If the infestors come over here, I feel like that's something that Seiplo should sack immediately. Cancel that Nexus. It was just an option. He says, okay, if you sit back, I will get it, but I'm not that invested in it. I have a very healthy 3-base economy. And, well, Seiplo is now working on his 3rd attack upgrade. 2nd Robo has just finished. He's not started his Thermal Lance yet. I do hope for him that he will not forget that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting fact. It's very surprising we don't see it down. And the longer that goes unnoticed, the more likely it will never be noticed, because you'll assume that it's done.
Exactly.
You're not going to really check for it. Spine crawler walls now coming down, 13 spines on the way, as the Hive is halfway complete. The timing window is narrowing down to hit anything. +3 attack doesn't look like it will be researched in time. Does Seiplo...
Colossus gets caught immediately. Big blink forward, and he does some force fields, but they do nothing. That was a great pickup by SortOf.
Great pickup, but sloppy force fields, kind of panicky force fields, I suppose you could say. But now is he going to take the momentum of killing off a couple of infestors all the way across the map here? There's no Thermal Lance again, and he still hasn't noticed. And this is going to be really, really bad, especially to clean up the spine crawlers, which is going to make things even more difficult. 11 Corruptors on the way.
Yeah, Neuroparasite is about halfway. What is this Infestor doing? Not quite sure. Neuroparasite is going to be great when you have so many Zerglings. You need those Colossus not to do damage to your Zerglings. The longer that goes on, that you have that Colossus under your spell assimilated, the better it is for your Zerglings. And of course, time is ticking. Tick-tock. We've got the Greater Spire coming up, and that's always a very desperate moment for the Protoss when he sees that Broodlords are not that far away. So will he be goaded into going an attack? Still no thermal lands. Neuro has finished and SortOf says, I'm not going to hide behind my my spine crawlers. I'm going to attack.
And he does attack. He's going to bring down all the Colossus so incredibly fast. The Lings are at 2-2, ripping every single Stalker apart. SortOf just isn't touchable. And, you know, he has so many Lings. That looks like 98 to me. It could be 88, but that is a lot of reinforcements available. He's got a lot of gas in the bank, and the reinforcements will absolutely crush Seiplo if he continues to stretch forward here. 104 Lings out. Broodlord's about to start as well.
That fight couldn't have gone any worse for Seiplo, and I don't think this one will be much better. Very random force fields there, leaving a lot of holes. Zerglings get in up and close. One Immortal has been stolen. Oh my god, SortOf is destroying everything here.
He's destroying everything. He's destroying everyone here at this tournament, here at the Sweden Nationals. The Immortal is given a few extra seconds to think about choosing the option to fight against SortOf, as it's not a viable option. And now the Lings are streaming down. There's no heavy army for Seiplo. His opportunity's been crushed. Link to destroying everything. And if that base goes down, SortOf will take a clean sweep here, as now the Broodlords are being more. Cancellation on the units. The Nexus will fall. And SortOf is just absolutely incredible to watch.
Yeah, these Colossus still don't have thermal lands. It has not been noticed by Seiplo. He's got 4 Colossus soon without range. Maybe now he will see it. Look, here's your Robo Bay. But he doesn't see it yet. And of course, SortOf is already on 5 bases. That means he's mining off of 10 gases. It gives him more than enough gas to replenish anything he wants. Infestors, Broodlords. He's working on his upgrades. He's getting spine crawlers in his natural, in his main base. He just wants to be safe. Might be seeing another War Prism with drops, so he's even defending his Greater Spire with the spine crawler there.
Yeah, he is indeed. Just, you know, immaculate play. I said that word a lot. It's incredible play here by SortOf. The Broodlord count now is becoming a little bit scary. It's quite high with 4 more on the way. Yeah. The upgrades, insane. 6
Broodlords with 4 more on the way indeed. Now we've got 2 more, 9. He's going to have 10 Broodlords. 10 Broodlords out against an army without sentries, an army without mothership support. It's just Stalkers and Colossi, and those are going to do abysmally against Zergling, Neuroparasite Infestors, and a whole bunch of Broodlords. A desperate last-ditch effort by Seiplo. He wants to pull back, but SortOf is not going to let him go. He is taking siege attacks there with his Broodlords against the Stalkers and the Colossi. And in comes SortOf for possibly the last fight of this game. Takes 2 Colossus, 3 Colossus.
Oh my god, he neuros the Colossus and does a lot of damage. Look at the army, absolutely obliterated here. SortOf destroying, even has a Colossus to join the swarm. And now with no 4th base, with his main base mined out, Seiplo has no options left. He walks in a last remaining set of Stalkers, but there are 8 Infestors on the way. The Broodlords remain untouched. Seiplo could try to blink underneath now and do damage, but oh, misses there. But look at the Ling and Roach swarm, not leaving a single unit alive.
Yeah, he's swarming with all the units here. The Zerglings are upgraded 3-3 now. They've got Adrenal Glands. That's a big trouble for Seiplo. John Seiplo here, looking on his last breath. There's just 7 Stalkers left here. SortOf is looking to close out this game and take the first decisive victory of this series.
Indeed he is. Seiplo still fighting on like a true warrior. He's got top 3 of this tournament. Is not just going to let it slip. Remember, the money starts to double up here. $1,300 3rd place, $3,000 for 2nd place. A lot of money on the line here between these 2 guys. So Seiplo not just going to throw it away, even though it looks absolutely impossible. A 4th base coming down, the Templar Archives for potential Archons. But SortOf is marching down. The Death March is coming, and there is nothing stopping it.
There's nothing stopping it, indeed. I don't think. Broodlord's already 1-1 upgrades. He's working on that second attack upgrade. Now gonna get in a position where he can shoot at these probes. Poor probes will never be able to mine from that fourth base now, as the Nexus is once again gonna get cancelled, or maybe SortOf will leave it alive to kill it at a later time.
Indeed he will. Last ditch attack here. Gonna blink up into Spine Coolers, and the Colossus aiding out here and very easily abusing the immobility of the Ling Infestor Broodlord combination. But wherever he goes, you can run, but you cannot hide. I was kind of in sync. Second delay.
Well, it looks like Seiplo is kind of locked in here. Link's on the top side, Broodlord's on the bottom. Where is he gonna go? There's only one place for him to escape to, and it's to the natural. Two Colossus know what they want to do about that. Stalkers are gonna come in, and will Seiplo ever be able to be caught by SortOf? Yes, of course he will be. Corruptors taking pot shots at these Colossus here. GG, well played. SortOf takes the first game.
So far, SortOf 7-1 versus the best Protoss players in Sweden. He is absolutely on fire here. There's no other words to describe it. He's looking unbeatable. Look at that stellar, solid look. No matter how much confidence the opponent brings to the other booth, it's cancelled out by this amazing, no mistakes play by SortOf.
Exactly.
All right, guys, so we are getting ready for the next map. Of course, it is going to be Daybreak, and guess what? That was previously on Entombed, his opponent's map choice, Seiplo's map choice, and now Seiplo has an uphill battle to fight, going to his opponent's map, which is, of course, Daybreak, the map that SortOf wanted to play on against Protoss players, undefeated on this map the entire of the weekend. This is going to be a rough ride.
And now, indeed, Seiplo has to break back SortOf on his opponent's map choice. If he does that, it might give him the confidence he needs to close it out on the third map, but it's no mean feat indeed. John Seiplo, can he do it against Ricard Bergman, SortOf? We're gonna have to wait and see in this next game on Daybreak.
And of course, we saw Nama come back from behind in the Finland Nationals. Are we gonna see a repeat of that possibly here by Seiplo? Let's introduce our players. In the bottom left, we do have the player representing his team, Alien Invasion. It is none other than Seiplo.
And in the top right position, the red Zerg. He's from Team Western Wolves. He's sorta good. His name is SortOf.
And I feel like I've said this a lot today. How can the Protoss, Seiplo in this case, topple an opponent that plays a macro solid style? It doesn't seem like he's breakable. Naniwa has chosen to go 2-base all-in, Blinkstalk all-in, destroyed. What can possibly Seiplo do to topple a giant in this Consolation Finals?
You just have to play really, really good with almost no mistakes. I was practicing a bit with SortOf at the MLG Arena, which we just came from last weekend. And I was so proud to win 2 games in a row against him, like proper macro games, 30-minute games, inspired by Oz's play against Stefano, where Oz took out Stefano twice, with Mothership, with base trading, with immaculate positioning. And even though my game didn't quite look like that, I was pretty proud of it, that I was able to take those games. But, you know, it's just practice games. It's a different story. Just a week before that, I lost to SortOf 0-2 in an official match. So definitely when he's got that momentum, he's a very scary player. But we know if you want to beat him, you just got to play really good, all-around, solid macro play. And if you do an all-in, make sure you don't drop a beat with that all-in.
So is there anything that Seiplo can do, aside from what you said, to topple momentum of a player going into this series? Is there anything he can do to throw his opponent off? It seems impossible. Are there any options?
Well, SortOf, unlike Stefano, he actually scouts every game. He comes in at 9 minutes with that Overseer, and it kind of revealed Naniwa's plans on Daybreak, for example, where he saw, oh, you've got 7 gateways, you've got a Twilight Council, and a very late Robo. I know exactly what that is. That's a 7-gate blink. So he's so mentally prepared for what's coming. So potentially one step to counter what he's doing is to try and remember that and be like, let's see if I can deny that Overseer from getting a lot of vision in my base. That would be one step. Another would be to do a build which doesn't counter your opponent, which forces your opponent to counter you. When you get that early 8 minute and 50 third base as a Protoss, and you get ready amazingly well for that inevitable Ling Roach attack, if you hold that off, and you hold it off with flying colors, not wasting a single force field, you crush all the army, then you could be in maybe an even position, maybe even a favorable position. So I would love to see that, for example, a 3-base play with immaculate defenses.
All right, so that's what you think he's going to do. Let's see if that can play out, because if he's going to go 2-base all-in, and I don't think that's going to be the right choice here. Not against this player. As you said, scouts so intensively. Is always on top of his unit production. I haven't seen this guy make any macro mistakes in terms of queens, in terms of overlords and so on. So let's see how this is going to go out of course here.
Now, guys in the audience, who are you cheering for? Let's hear some cheers as I go past their names. Do you want Seiplo to make the comeback here? Let's make some noise.
Or would you like to see SortOf take on the King of the North? Not bad, not bad.
SortOf gaining a lot of new fans here with his amazing performance. This Zealot is also getting a lot of fans as he's doing an amazing performance against the drones, taking down one of them there and back again, and will get away before that Queen chases him away. Now, of course, if SortOf wins, we will see a TVZ Grand Finals, which is, of course, something really nice to be able to see today on this great day of StarCraft 2. And as such, we're going to have to see what SortOf will do to counter whatever Seiplo is going to be throwing at him.
All right, no decisions made yet from Seiplo in this game. He's tickled around with a few units here and there. There are a lot of Zerglings coming out to deal with this kind of pressure initially, and there, as you so smartly predicted, would be the best way to approach SortOf is a 3rd base. But remember, or hold that thought, because a lot of drones are actually going down here to these Zealots. Not a lot of drones, actually. I thought a lot more have gone down.
No drones have died yet in this attack. But there were 5 drones with like 2 HP.
Wow, I thought there was a lot more going down there. And
Queen survived, all the drones survived, and the Zealot and the Stalker got taken down. That's just really depressing when you're Seiplo.
It is indeed. But remember, with this 3rd command set or 3rd Nexus going down, there's a part 2. You have to defend so well. And
when it rains, it freaking pours. Seiplo, he can't catch a break, this guy. His build is quite smart, but just those little things, they aren't going his way. SortOf, he's on 51 drones now, making 6 more. And as he sees this, I don't think he can cancel the 3rd, but everything was looking so good for Seiplo, and then he goes and loses all those units.
The thing is, though, look at the layer timing. It's a little bit off because of that pressure.
Yeah.
It's not as fast as it would have been. Lings do get denied from going in.
Well, there was a pure bait of the force field.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is that with the layer being a lot later here, he can't get Ventral Sacks in time.
That is true. And also, roach speed will be delayed. Layer is going to finish in 20 seconds. So roach speed, if anything, will only come in at like the 11-minute mark. By that time, Seiplo could have a couple of Immortals out already and quite a bit of units.
I think that's the first roach one going down in the production tab, so very late. And because of the lack of speed on his personal timings here, this will just lead into a 4th base. Infestation Pit to follow shortly. There's no way he can break down his opponent.
Why is he still getting Ventral Sacks? He seems quite obviously to have forgotten Roachhorn. It's like 2.5 minutes late.
Yeah.
And it might be accredited to Seiplo's early aggression. I don't think this is like, yes, I want to get my Roachhorn to finish at the 10-minute mark. No. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to produce roaches?
I mean, let's see how this is going to go down. If he does continue to follow through with Ventral Sacks, he's getting overload speed as well. Ling's doing damage to this pylon. Untouchable.
He found this invincible spot where he can attack.
But 6 gateways coming down. Going to power a strong Seiplo army if necessary. Overseer, as you said as well, spots out everything. He knows what he's playing against. There's 7 gateways in total, if I'm not mistaken.
But this Overseer has speed upgrade. It's very obvious that he already has it.
You are so smart. There's no wonder you're pro and I'm not.
You know, guys, if you haven't figured it out yet, but that's because now Seiplo can figure out that this is going to be a drop.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. I wasn't thinking about that. And all of a sudden, things are looking a little bit brighter for Seiplo. It's not the end of the tunnel yet. He's still in the dark. But look at the Overlord setting up in position.
Speed upgrade for roaches is only halfway. I think, honestly, theoretically, Seiplo is in an amazing position. If he doesn't mess up his split or his positioning, this should be no problem at all to hold off.
All right, let's find out. We do have +2 attack on the way as well. That's going to be pretty key. The roaches don't have any aggressive upgrades. Here comes the initial drop here. There are no units in the main. What is Seiplo doing? He's moving down to the front side of the tower.
No,
His
he's getting
units are
baited.
out.
He's getting baited by these slow roaches. There's something amiss, Seiplo. You've got 1 pylon powering 6 gateways in your main. You were supply blocked for a while. You can't go and occupy the Zelnaga tower. This is terrible for him. He did not put 2 and 2 together. This Nexus could be dead.
Oh my god, the Nexus has died. And also we do see Seiplo with a decent surround on the roaches in the middle there. Look at that, a good attack. But at the sacrifice of what? He's going to lose his main Nexus. He's going to lose the gateways, the pylon powering the gateways. If he's not careful, can Seiplo launch a counterattack powerful enough here, Grubby, to pull this down and pull the lead?
Well, he just used all of the gateways, which are about to be powered down. Well, about 3 of them. Great move there by SortOf. Artosis pylon did not do the good job there on those gates. Now SortOf is going to go into the second base here. There are no more force fields. There are a bunch of cannons being warped in. And in the meantime, at the natural...
The force fields were absent, and that just allows the Ling to drones to get in. But is there enough? Are the powerful enough Immortals able to do damage? And the answer is no. Seiplo may have missed his very own one chance, one opportunity to draw this up.
Yeah.
A sigh of relief from the Protoss player. Well, not really relief, sorry, wrong word. A sigh of pain.
I guess the crowd gets what they want, and that's really the most important thing, isn't it? It's definitely looking like a TVZ finals, SortOf versus Thorzane, but first the death throws from Seiplo as he does a last-ditch effort to try and defend his natural here. He's down to 37 probes. He's lost his Nexus in the main base. He doesn't have a lot of gateway production. He's clearing off the dregs of this attack here, these roaches. But in the meantime, there's a large expeditionary force from SortOf stationed here at the 4th base. They're going to come into the 3rd base of Seiplo and potentially could take down this Nexus here.
He's looking for it. He's looking where the units of his opponent are. He now sees, I don't think he's got enough time. He's going to try and run by at the same time. The Nexus is getting low. Seiplo is getting distracted by this run by. They can again bring the pylon and the gateways down. And SortOf is absolutely incredible. There are no other words to describe this. He is looking at, again, another 2-0 against another Protoss opponent. He kills another pylon. There are 10 Infestors on the way to seal the deal. And SortOf is getting a step closer to another Grand Finals, going in the IESF Finals, winning it. Winning the finals, and now is staring down at another finals. It is not over yet, but it is looking damn good.
It is looking really damn good. 11 Infestors are being created. There comes his trademark early Neural Parasite again. He's on 67 drones, making a 4th base. The creep spread is not awesome, but have you heard us complain about that at all? It never mattered. He was always all the way across the map, killing stuff left and right. And yeah, SortOf, it's not going to be long until he comes with his death attack.
SortOf is, you know, guys, this guy, This guy. That word comes out. Those words come out when somebody plays so good in a tournament, coming from a loser bracket so far behind. Seiplo is going for a last-ditch attack. The investors say, welcome to my kingdom, as now everything is deployed. Seiplo 1 ulted down below 100 supply. SortOf is about to move on. He crushes through that attack. So close here. The last Immortal struggling. The Zerglings will surround. Good game goes to GG. SortOf goes through somebody else again, Grubby. What can we say?
Another 2-0. Another notch on the belt for SortOf.
He is looking so good now. And SortOf will go up to face Thorzain in the grand finals. And we do say goodbye to Seiplo. Third place, a good all round, but Seiplo played well. But this guy about to leave the booth after his sip of water, taking it in, realizing this is his time. This is his tournament.
Time to shine.
SortOf!
You're probably getting pretty tired of getting interviewed up here, aren't you? Well, you keep winning, man. That's the part that keeps happening. I mean, congratulations, another big victory. You're now in the grand final, coming all the way up from that under bracket, or no, lower bracket, excuse me. I guess under bracket could be another name. $3,000 for yourself. You've already been qualified, so that monkey's off your back. This is just more money, but you're winning at IESF. You've been winning some tournaments. I don't know if second place is good enough for you, is it?
I don't know, but Thorsten is really good. So,
yeah, he's really freaking good.
Yeah. So it's not going to be easy, but not going to make it easy for him either. So.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of ZVT. What?
Get it.
Someone's in the front row yelling at me. That's weird. It's not weird. It's totally fine, actually. It's really late at night. We should all be yelling. It's going to be a ZVT Grand Final. We actually haven't gotten a chance to see that. Where does that rank with your matchups? We've seen your ZVP. It's terrifying. It's freaking good. I think you went 8-1 or something like that against some of the best Protoss, not only in Sweden, but in the entire planet. But now it's ZVT. How do you stack up?
I used to feel really good CVT, but I haven't really had a chance to practice it lately. But I should still be able to give Thorsten some good games, I think.
Okay, that's what we like to hear. Good games here in the Grand Finals. Does that sound good? Okay. Well, before we let you go, I want to touch on a little bit of history here. You and Thorzain have actually played before in a final. It was at DreamHack Summer at the Swedish Championship for Starcraft 2. And I know that he narrowly won 3-2, but only after you beat him in the group stage, if I'm not mistaken. So the two of you have kind of gone back and forth. Of course, there's been some time, and like you said, you maybe not got as much practice as you want, but you've definitely proven that you can give Thorzain a hell of a run for his money. Do those games have any impact today? Do you feel like you can go back to that and kind of use that now, or is it a new drawing board, as it were?
No, I think it's pretty new. Like, I'm just gonna play the race, not play the opponent, and just try to play my best.
Okay. Well, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, but when we're back, we'll be back at 11:47, as the voice just said in my head. I apologize. But don't go anywhere. It's the moment we've all been waiting for, the Grand Championship. I'll see you guys soon.
The girl you remember is dead. I'm going to find Minsk and make him pay.
This is Nova. Find Kerrigan.
How many innocents have you killed? How many more have to die?
The killing will never stop until Minsk is dead.
There's too many Zerg! We're not gonna make it!
The swarm. Vengeance shall be mine.
By Odin! This is huge! But there's nobody here. Ah, it's not September yet.